If you're here, you probably have too. And I'll be the first to validate it for you. Okay? I'm the first to say that you as a child were seeing angels and demons and they were true. I'm the first to say there's no such thing as sleep paralysis. To call that sleep paralysis is to say you have cancer. Now what? How the fuck do I get it? Right? Don't label it if you can't undo it. Then you don't know it. Only way you could start, change, stop it. L. Ron Hubbard, do you have control over it? Right? If I could start the activity from zero, I can create it. If I can continue the activity and I can stop it on my will, I'm in control of it. Can you do that with your mind? Do you try everything? Can you do that with your mind? Can you do that with your emotions? All right, let me try again. Ready? Ready? This is why you failed. Try this one. Can you do that with the clouds right now outside? If the answer is no, then there's your mind. What do you do when the clouds go by? If it's fucking stormy, you put on a fucking jacket. Or you stay inside. Or you admire it. But they go by. You watch a cloud for long enough, it changes shape because of the wind. You watch your thoughts long enough, they change shape because of the wind, which is the emotion. Now, what about your emotions? I don't know. Can you stop a volcano? How about an earthquake? Tsunami? When the earth shakes, do you have any control over it? No. Good. There's your emotions. But you know how to brace up for it. If you're inside, I used to live in California, you run under the doorways or under the fucking couch or whatever the fuck you can. Right? When there's an earthquake, you go seek shelter. Right? If your dumbass is in Miami for whatever stupid fucking reason Miamians do Miami shit, then you get away from the ocean when they tell you that shit is coming. Right? I'm gonna keep my family here because, you know, it's a typhoon number 4. That is a fucking computer graphic of the current state of the atmosphere. Okay? And if you want to know anything about nature, don't try to predict the fucking weather. All right? Because a butterfly in China flapping its wings faster can create a tornado here. If you didn't know that, that's why I have a butterfly here. Okay? Because one tiny particle of motion in my own inner space can create a tsunami in my inner space on the other side of my inner space. You see? Now the language that I'm speaking, that's called the sacred syntax. It's a gift. It's a lightsaber in a world of knights with fucking axes. I will cut through any fucking weapon in front of me once I speak. This is the advanced techniques of communication that I teach. Okay? The process to get there is called quantum leap. And it's very specifically named. All right? It's a technology of the mind which uses precise, exact communication and understanding of the philosophies of the East and the West and all the ancient philosophers, knowing and fully understanding how the mind works in relation to Dianetics, which is through the mind, and hypnosis and NLP. Mastery of all 3 subjects are required to speak like this. A soul that's woven in poetry that I don't know where it came from, but grandpa had it, so maybe it's passed down genetically. I don't fucking know and I don't fucking care. Just like I don't fucking know and I don't fucking care. Those clouds, they're not here for me to care about. I'm here to appreciate that. I'm here to appreciate the Creator's work. As above, so below. As within, so without. There are things that have nothing to do with me in this process of living. Absolutely nothing. May God grant me the serenity to know the difference between the things I can control and the things I can't control, and to know the difference. Christian prayer. You see, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see clearly what is me, what we call I, and everything else. And I has the ability, as L. Ron Hubbard said, the founder of Scientology, to be able to perceive and decide. And no matter what is happening, I could be standing right under a swallowing tsunami as it's about to kill my body. And I admire its size because there's nothing I can do about it. And if I'm going to die in admiration, motherfucker, of myself. My last moment departure from the body will be nothing but pure admiration for the Creator and myself and the game. because after death comes life. It's obvious. So wherever I go next, I will be taking that moment with me. Love and admiration, honor, respect, truth, family, bravery. Those are my values that cannot be taken, even if you take my watch right now. I'll still sit here with honor, loyalty, family, bravery, respect, truth, courage. I'll sit here with that. If you take my arm, you'll see it even more clearly, because my response to it will show you that you didn't take those things from me, no matter what the fuck you did. If you take my money, I'll show you how abundant I really am, because nothing would change my state of mind in the way that I appreciate my next breath or my next food or the next time I close my eyes to sleep. Where I lay my head is home. That's who I am. As my teacher said, Manu Tupo, homeless spirits. We are homeless spirits. Where we lay our head is home. And I'm totally okay with that. Because one day you could end up in situations and planets that your planet of the apes, welcome to the planet of the apes, if you didn't know it. If you really want to know what Earth is, it was the planet of the apes. When you watch the planet of the apes and they uprise and learn their language, welcome to us being the apes and them being the Anunnaki and the gods. You're watching everything backwards, called the upside down and Stranger Things. Strange things have happened here, and stranger would it be. You see, you're just reading the code backwards. That's why it doesn't work. Because if you first, I'm not a cook, but I can concentrate, meditate, and contemplate on the subject. So I should be able to grab some truths from cooking, even though I can't even cook a fucking egg. But if I eat the egg, then I put it in the microwave somehow. When I spit it back up and throw it up, I went backwards in my sequence. You don't microwave an egg, but you know what I mean. You can. You can do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. Oh, it works well? All right, well, there you go. Cowboy says it. See? So once there's a formula must be followed step by step by step by step. There's a formula in martial arts, right? White, orange, yellow, purple, blue, blah, 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 blah. In certain traditions, then white, blue, purple, brown, black in jiu-jitsu tradition. This is a formula that the teacher can see, and it's invisible to the student. And if the student thinks he knows the formula and jumps a few notches up because he goes and picks up a YouTube, whatever, he actually succeeds briefly in the class. He has a short advantage. It's called a mirage. One time, we were visiting an ancient land, me and my crew. We can time travel. We went to the land of the Stoics. And one of the beasts started running. I stopped him. Why? Because he was thirsty and there was a lake. I said, wait, that's a mirage. Pay attention. It's either going to quench your thirst for a second. As you run towards it, it's quenching your thirst. I'm getting it. I'm about to get it. Or it's going to kill you. But what's more important is your ability to perceive the truth. And he stopped, and he got it. And the mirage went away, and he saw the sand again. And one time we were walking, and we saw this temple that had all this gold around it. And this old man walked out, and he was in tattered robes, but his eyes were crystal clear, his shoulders back, chest up. He was proud. And he looked at all these warriors, and we were suited and booted. We had weapons on us. Some of us had tentacles and teeth and claws. We don't look like this. And when he looked at everyone, he was solid. I said to him, look at that man. Look at how he stands. Look at his posture. Look at his eyes, how clear they are. What does he have? I said to the old man, because I commanded him, because I could do that. I said, tell them. And he's compelled to tell them. Vampires can do it, and so can beasts of IMC. I can compel people to speak. If you don't believe it, come to Vegas tonight. Tony's my guest. Tomorrow, he will report on what he sees. Tony will be your eyes tonight. Tony has never seen me here. TK, he's coming. He's my guest. I'm paying for everything so that tomorrow he could come here and testify, and you can decide whether he's telling the truth or false. Okay? All these powers are real. It says it in this. It says it in the Bible. It says it in the Quran. It says it in the Dhammapada. It says it in where? What? Bring in the Vedas. What ancient book? Torah? Quran, they all say it. And they all require an extreme amount of discipline to get there. And every single one of them requires a purification of the heart. Every single one of them does. And every single one of them requires a focus of the mind like it's no one's business. And every single one of them requires you to walk away from your friends and family. Every single one of them requires you to actually walk away from your friends and family. Every one of them. It's a tradition of being a monk or a yogi. It's a path you have to walk alone. I can't do one push-up for you, and I can't eat one amount of nutrient for you. You can. You have to do the push-up. You have to get in shape. You have to love your life. I can't. Have you ever tried loving someone who doesn't love themselves? It's disastrous. I'm in that condition. One of my girlfriends clearly doesn't love herself. And it's difficult to love that person because they self-sabotage. Now, me knowing what I know about the human spirit, she has demons, and she does, and she knows it. I know that. Me knowing what I know about the human mind, you have a subconscious mind. What does that mean? Under your conscious level. And it is running the show. That's why your income stays exactly the same no matter what. That's why your fatness stays exactly the same no matter what you eat, right? Calorie counting is for slaves. I don't count calories. I don't count fats. I don't count none of that shit. What am I, a bodybuilder? The body became so important. I'm going to go build a temple of Solomon inside instead of build a body. The fuck's the body going to do? I have the temple of the Solomon, the soul and the moon inside of me. The male and the female, the plus and the minus, the black and the white are in me, both, because that's what requires electricity to move between two opposite poles. Right? The temple of Solomon, not the temple of Sol, and not the temple of Mon. And they have both of those. And traditions have split man and woman in half. And man and woman are not in half. It's man and woman is one. That's what God said. Go become one, he said. Now, why would the fuck would God say that? Is he just fucking with us? Is he just, here's a suggestion from God. Go become one. It's more of a command, actually. Okay? And so I know how unhealthy a woman is, no matter how beautiful she is. How beautiful was the girl I was talking to last night, guys? 10. How smitten was she? All the motherfucking way. Would you like to walk into the biggest strip club in the world, actually? That's what the one is. Go grab the finest woman in the finest strip club, in the go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, top of the list, and have her like a kitten purring. Not only did I did it, I predicted I would do it. Easy. And a pleasure for me and a pleasure for her, because when a kitten purrs, she's happy. I don't have the judgment of society what the fuck they think is going on. What they think is going on is created a woman that was crying in the strip club. Go to the bathroom twice to wipe tears, come back. Not because I was yelling at her, not because I was degrading her, but because she was releasing all the curses inside of her at one of the filthiest places on the planet. We go every night to the dirtiest place on the planet, a place you would never want your daughter to go to, ever, not ever. There's not 1 ounce of ethics in that place, not one. There's not one particle of good where we go. And people would say, why do you go if you're so righteous? And the answer is simple. If you go to the swamp and you go where that water is, the little water hole in the savannah, all the animals have to go drink there. And in that nasty fucking place that has all kinds of bugs and beetles and nasty shit, lives crocodiles. And sometimes you hear about these crocodiles are 30, 40 feet. That's like my tiny fucking pinky nail, actually. My retarded toe's nail is as big as a crocodile, fucking 30 feet. I'm a kraken under that shit. I'm a titan underneath it all. God put the crocodile in the swamp to do his thing. I'm called Spider. That's my name. You don't find that anywhere nice. So I thrive in that place, and I do my job better in that place, and that's why you listen to me. Do you want to come listen to some fucking square bear sitting up here right now telling you how to get better in life? And now we're going to have 10 goals. First, write it down. Visualize. Step number 1, visualize. I want you to really see it bright in your eyes now and do this and put it on. Okay. Number 2, you have to be shut the fuck up, you fucking sheep. Go back somewhere else because you look like a fattened food. You sound like prey. I don't want my son listening to a weakling. Something beautiful happened last night. One of my friends, he's a black guy. He came over, right? We had a brief conversation, and this is really important. Is Benny here or no? Where's little Benny? Is he downstairs? Took off? For him. Give him this. This guy found out that he had an 8-year-old son yesterday. He was there to witness it, so you know that ain't fucking, God always puts a witness for me. And he's like beaming about it. Like, do you want to see a picture, right? I'm like, you just found out, man? Like, yeah, he's 8 years old. And then I said, he's gonna live with you now, right? He's like, yeah, damn right, or whatever. And then, this is the moment. This is the moment that was one of the greatest moments of my entire life. And I've experienced miracles every day. I'll tell you why. Because I've heard these words so many times, and not one time since yesterday have I ever heard anybody say it properly. I have thought about this my entire life, and I'll tell you why. Because I know I'm not going to have kids. Not by my will, I'm not going to have kids. If it's God's will, that's different. By my will, I don't want to have kids because it's going to take me away from what I do. However, should I have a son or a daughter, but I go with a son, I'm alpha, I'd have a bunch of boys first. If I have a son, right, I always wondered what the relationship of mother to me would be, whether we're together or not. And I knew one thing from the depth of my fucking soul that I couldn't prove like I do everything else, because I don't have a kid, so you'd have to take my word for it, so I never spoke on it. But goddamn, she has absolutely zero to say about my son. And when I say zero, I mean, look at the number 0, what it represents. It represents it doesn't exist besides just a symbol to tell you it doesn't exist, in case you thought it did. She would have absolutely nothing to say about the way I raised my son. Nothing. And neither would anybody else. Nobody would tell me how to raise my fucking son. Right? I've heard men say whatever the fuck they said, and I've just called bullshit on it left and right. But I'm not the person to go over there and say, I haven't had that experience, but you're lying. I don't play that game. I just keep it to myself. Last night, for the first time, fucking Jesus and Shakespeare and God was there, and I told him. I said, what does baby mama think? And he just turned to me and he said, what? That's my son. She got nothing to say about that. It's like this, y'all. He's my son. I'm coming to pick him up. I'm on my way. Pack his shit. And he goes, no cop, no man, no woman, nobody tells me what to do with my son. Bam! And finally, I heard a human fucking being say it properly. And I praised them the way you would praise God at that moment. I really did. Finally, it quenched my soul, because sometimes I would think I'm making this shit up. Right? Like, no, when you're there, it's not like that. She has something to say. Bitch, you have absolutely nothing to say about this. I give the directions on how to raise a fucking man. End of story. That's the end of the sentence. It's one book with one sentence in it. And if you want to take it down to the beginning, and the beginning was the word, son, father, mine. Pick any of those. And then I said it was good. That's what happened. Then nothing else happened there. You understand that? So I would like all men who are acting like little girls. I can't see my son. She took my son. You know, my children, you know, I get to see them every fucking 2 weeks, but I miss them. What? I'm gonna have him come teach a fucking class to those men and just look at them and roar in their face. What happened? What happened to you? Who taught you that weird ass shit? Right? My body, my choice. My seed, my choice. My seed, my choice. My code, my choice. My life, my choice. Well, it's in me. Good. Good. You see how I feel about it? You got that? My seed in your body. You see how dangerous I am? Call the cops now. By the time they get here, it's too late for you. Don't ever threaten me with my seed or my son. Don't threaten me with my son. Okay? That's not gonna happen. Do I sound like I'm lying to you, bitch? And I know every person, including the devil, would sit the fuck down when a man spoke like that. Because it's the purest truth that I've heard from a father's soul so far. I've heard all kinds of shit, man. But it starts with that. If it doesn't start with that, they're on the wrong word. I don't give a fuck. Okay? That's your fucking son. Take some fucking responsibility. I don't give a fuck what's happening. It don't matter what the fuck's happening. Okay? If you're in jail, make sure your son goes there and commits a crime to be in jail in your cell right next to you. Welcome, son. I'm training you for the next fucking 20 fucking years. I got 20 years here. You got 10. Go stab that motherfucker that gives you 5. Okay? Now we got 10 years. I'm training you. And for the next 10 years, my son and I are training in the cell. And he's going to do exactly what the fuck I say. And it's going to be there. And then we're going to get out. And he got his education from his dad instead of some stupid school. I don't give a fuck. So anyways, I think to say anything more after that would be stupid. Okay? So we're going to go into the men's class now. All right? IMC Nation, be the best. Fuck the rest. Let's go. Hey, I'm going to send that to the guy. So send me that class as soon as you can.